So, you've got this amazing Microsoft Access database, right? It's powerful, it's organized, but now you need to share it. How do you stop it from being a total free-for-all? Well, in this explainer, we're going to build a professional-grade login system from scratch to seriously lock down your data. That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, you've probably got sensitive info in there. HR data, financials, client details. You just can't give everyone the keys to the kingdom. So how do you actually control who sees what without it being a huge headache? The answer is a really solid login form. Think of it like a digital bouncer for your database. It's standing at the front door, checking IDs. It doesn't just decide who gets in. It decides where they're allowed to go once they're inside. It is absolutely your first and most important line of defense.
All right, before we build anything flashy, we've got to lay a solid foundation. And in the world of databases, that foundation is always the tables. Let's dig into the data structure that makes this whole system tick.
It all boils down to 4 key tables. We've got an employees table for our users, a permissions table to list what they can do, a roles table to group them together, and then, the really important one, a link table that connects those roles to their specific permissions. This setup is what gives the system all its flexibility and power. So first up is the employees table. This one's pretty straightforward, you know? It's basically our master list of who can even try to log in. It holds all the essentials for each user: their name, their password, what role they've been assigned, and a simple check to see if they're currently active. Next up, the permissions table. Now this is where we get really specific. Instead of just giving vague access, we define every single action a person could take. Things like view monthly reports or edit customer details. And then we link each of those permissions directly to a specific form. This gives us some serious pinpoint control.
Okay, so assigning dozens of tiny permissions to every single person would be a nightmare, right? So we don't do that. Instead, we use a roles table. We create groups, like administrator or sales team or data entry clerk. It just makes managing everything so much easier.
And here it is. This is the secret sauce that brings it all together. The role permissions link table is like the central nervous system of our security. It connects the admin role to all its permissions, the sales role to its permissions, and so on. This simple little table is the real engine behind the whole system.
Okay, our foundation is rock solid. The tables are all set up. Now for the fun part. Let's build the user interface on top of it. You know, the forms that everyone, from admins to regular users, is actually going to see and use. For whoever's in charge, the administrator, we're going to build 3 essential forms. One to add and edit permissions, another one for creating roles, and a third for handling all the employee accounts. It's basically a central command center for your database security. So these first 2 forms let an admin define exactly what's possible inside the database. Need to add a permission for a brand new report? Or maybe create a new role for a summer intern? No problem. It's all done right here. Super clean and simple.
Now, the employee data form is where an admin manages the actual users. You just add a new person, give them a password, and pick their role from a drop-down list. That's it. And bam! In one click, they instantly get all the permissions that go with that role. It saves a ridiculous amount of time. All right, we've built the back end, we've built the admin tools, now for the payoff. Let's see what this whole thing looks like from the perspective of the people who will be using it day in and day out. And here it is, the main event. Clean, professional. This is the front door for everyone. When a user puts in their name and password and hits that login button, the system zips over to our employees table in the background to make sure they are who they say they are.
And this is the magic right here. Once you're in, you don't just see a generic main menu with a bunch of buttons that don't work for you. No way. You get a completely custom welcome screen that only shows you the buttons for the forms and reports that your specific role is allowed to access. An admin sees everything. A data entry clerk might only see 1 or 2 things. It's dynamic, it's secure, and it's way less confusing for your users.
So let's just quickly recap what all this hardware gets you. You get a powerful, role-based security system that's incredibly flexible and super easy to manage. But more than anything, you dramatically boost your data security and give your entire application a truly professional look and feel.
So now that you've seen how it's built and why it's so powerful, you're probably wondering, okay, how can I get this into my own Access databases? Well, what's your next step? Well, you can get your hands on this entire system. For more information and to download the complete MS Access login example that we've just gone through, just visit our website, far as solution.